Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening, and welcome to another night of sharing and our special edition podcast. With us, we have Dr. Larry White Sr., CEO and founder of VIPeVENTS Concierge, LLC. Welcome, Larry.
Well, good morning, author Kimberly McLemore. Thank you so much for having me on your show. And that Dr. Larry White Sr. sounds really good. A lot of hard work in there. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming out for our networking event the other night. I'm still getting great reviews. So thank you so much, because Cocktails and Conversations Part 3 just went over very, very well without a hitch. So I thank you so much, Kimberly, for attending and greeting everybody and making it fun.
Well, it is my pleasure. And, I really enjoyed that event, too. I think that the thing I really liked is that there were so many new, fresh faces there and a lot of new connections. So that I thought was really important to see. And, doing these networking events, people don't understand that how important it is to truly get out there and network with people and learn how to use each other's resources versus feeling like you have to constantly look on the outside when you can have it all within the same room. And so being able to kind of come out of your shell and communicate with each other, I think, is important. And that's what we did with that event. And that's been something that's connected me to you by coming and being a part of those events, is that it's helped me learn how to grow as an individual. And I think that's the purpose, and a great purpose, and the reason to have these type of events. A lot of times we spend ourselves kind of sitting behind the scenes and thinking that, we can do everything on our own. But the reality is, it's not always easy doing everything on your own. So thank you for having these type of events available for us. But before we go any further into this conversation, why don't you do me a favor and tell the listeners just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. You mentioned I am the CEO and founder of VIPeVENTS Concierge. We are now knocking on the door of a national brand. We're a regional event planning firm in the DC metro area, and we focus on three things: event planning, event marketing, and transportation. And we thank you for using our services as well. So I've been in business now 6 years, and it's just been a great opportunity to do corporate events, work with celebrities, entertainers on the transportation side and the event side. So been in business for 6 years, and we are now, again, a national brand. We were regional at the 3-year mark, and now at the 6-year mark, we're knocking on the door of a national brand, because we have folks flying in from all over the country. Case in point, for Congressional Black Caucus, we had 13 states represented that flew in from 13 different states to be at our Congressional Black Caucus VIP reception, and that speaks volumes, because initially it was just local, just local people. So now we're starting to get people that are flying in from Chicago, California, Arizona, and that really, really meant a lot to me, because that's my main focus, to be a national brand. And then on the transportation side, we have people that fly in from different states to Reagan, Dulles, and BWI. And so I'm able to provide car service for them when they come into town to come to various events, even if it's not mine hosting. So it's really a pleasure to be able to serve the country.
All right. Well, yeah, you're definitely, your name of your business, you absolutely live up to that. I like the classiness of how you handle everything within your business. And, I think that's important, is that you walk the talk and you live the way that you portray your business. And that's the reason why you've become national, because, even though people, I'm sure on a local level, we all appreciate what you provide, but being able to have, like you said, that national variety, or just being known, that's even more important. But it speaks the truth of who you truly are and what you convey here in this community, outside this community. So explain to me, what inspired you to decide to go into the business that you have?
I just got tired of listening to everybody else on those 9-to-5s telling me what to do, and they were getting it wrong, Kimberly. and I'm kidding a little bit. I want to make it fun and make you laugh. But a lot of times when you're sitting at that 9-to-5, I was brought up by a steel worker. My dad was an electrician, and I watched him work in a steel mill for just about 40 years. And I can tell you, shout out to PK Kersey in New York, because that generation before us, they never really missed days. I think he missed 5 days of work in 40 years. And when I joined the Navy, he goes, hey, just join the military, come back, and you can work with me in the steel mill. And I'm not really good mechanically inclined with my hands, so I didn't know how that was going to work. But I thought about it. And as I kept working in 9-to-5 situations and seeing things that were really not working, and I would have these great innovative ideas to help them in corporate America and make money for them, I'd be kind of the odd man out left on the totem pole with, man, that was my idea and they're using it. So around 2012, I just decided, let me invest in myself. Let me attend some networking events and see how these entrepreneurs are really doing things. And I said, you know what, I can do that. And I was very fearful to get started because, I didn't want to fail and come out the gate and nobody would use my business. So, fast forwarding, for you to be able to use the services, come to the events and see my growth, I appreciate that. But the 9-to-5 just really wasn't me. I wanted to be in control of my own destiny, have more flexibility with my family, and being an entrepreneur has afforded me that opportunity, Kimberly. So you're in that transition now, as we call transitional entrepreneur pseudo. And I just tell people, hang in there, because it's not for everybody. I think entrepreneurs are born, and either you have it in your spirit or you don't, because it's going to be some tough days out there where you don't get paid and you're waiting on that check or a client to pay an invoice. So it just allowed me to just really live out my true dreams, to be an entrepreneur and serve other people.
Right, exactly. But, when being the person standing behind and kind of watching you're a born leader as well. And I think that what a lot of people don't understand is about being in business, you have to understand what it means to be a good leader. And, it's not just about, oh, well, I have a service to provide or I have a product to provide. And then, most people think if you build it, they're going to come. You have to have a very well-rounded responsibility within yourself, but also the personality and, of course, the education and the things that you need to do to continue to improve yourself. And I see that all the time when I'm with you and we're doing events, and, and how people gravitate to you is because of your attitude and how you present yourself. And that's a part of being in business. And of course, the type of business that you're doing, you have to have that very special uniqueness, and you have that. But you also, like I said, have to be a leader. And like you said, some people are born with it. But even if you're not born with that leadership, you have to build that, because that is a very important part of running a business. So that stands out for you. But I also realize that we all know that being in business, there always is challenges. So talk a little bit about what's been challenging about being in the business that you've had for the last 6 years.
Well, that's probably the most important question. The most challenging thing for any entrepreneur is making payroll. When you got people working for you, they expect to get paid on time, and there are times as an entrepreneur you will make a lot of money, and by the time you pay your drivers or your folks helping you with your events, you may not have any money left over for you as the business owner. I've talked to several business owners over the past few weeks who have experienced that, and I do want to just mention Rudy C. the other day, who called and said what a great event the other day, and he can't wait to May 3rd. And he too has had challenges with payroll. That's the most difficult thing dealing as an entrepreneur when you're out here bidding for contracts, and you want to make sure you don't overbid, you don't underbid. How much money do I need to do this job correctly? And by the time you get awarded the contract, sometimes we bill net 15, net 30 for those who know about that. But at the end of the day, making payroll is the biggest challenge, and to do it consistently, because if you're not paying people on time, you're going to lose good people. And so that's been the most challenging. I haven't really had a big issue with that, but I have had times where a client hasn't paid an invoice and the services have been rendered. And so even like yesterday, when you paid your invoice, that car service will be taken care of for you. And some people out there, when problem season come, they say, hey, Mr. White, why do I have to pay for the service in advance? We're guaranteeing you a vehicle, guaranteeing you a job, much like Uber. It's paid for in advance, right. But I'm going to go that step to make sure if it's weather related, just constantly communicating with that individual. But again, that's the challenge running a business, is making payroll. There's a lot of other things, but that one is the big one when you see the credits come in and the debits go out. You just have to really make sure that you're saving money, putting money away for a rainy day, because a lot of times in entrepreneurship, you may get paid really good for a week or two. Then you may not see another paycheck for another month.
Exactly.
So it's absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I was going to say that, just like you mentioned earlier, you're not getting that paycheck every 2 weeks. So you have to know how to be prepared for that when you're in business. And that's where a lot of people don't understand is I've talked to a lot of clients that have my own, and the first thing they want to do is, oh, I have a great idea and I'm going to just jump out here and start building my business, not understanding that you still have those same responsibilities that you had prior to coming into business. Those responsibilities don't go away. And then now you're going to add some new responsibilities, and people are depending on you. Everything is on your shoulder. You're no longer leaning against the individual that you were, or the companies that you were previously working on. Now it's all about you. So I always make recommendations that, before you decide to jump out there, make sure you're prepared financially, mentally, physically, spiritually. There's so many other pieces that come with that. And, when we talk about being in business, most people miss that, because when they see us, all they see is what? The shell. All they see is how great you look and what you're doing. And they think everything is easy, not understanding all the things that go on behind the scenes.
Absolutely. Kimberly, you hit the nail on the head. You and I have been working together very, very closely here over the past few weeks. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't plan for the backup plan or failure. I mean, you can't control everything, but you can plan ahead and say, if this problem arises, what's my plan B to hide it from the client? As a business owner, event planner, I see issues all the time in events, and my job is to hide it from the client. If we're running out of food or whatever adjustment we need to make in the back, we make that adjustment so the clients never see it. No one's perfect, but communications is key as well. A lot of times, if you're communicating with your clients and they see certain things that are always going well, because if it's really bad, it'll affect your brand, and you got to make sure that brand is, protected at all costs. So we talk about that a lot. But the key is to always remain professional and make sure that even when you're having a few hiccups and bumps and bruises on the way, try not to let the client see that, because these are your patrons. These are your clients that are paying your bills, and you do want to have them come back and refer you out. And we have a wonderful Kimberly referral plan. 90% of my clientele is referral based, where someone else has used our services and they are they got a call saying, hey, Larry White was very professional. You should try using him. And, I just wanted to shout out to Mr. Bill Spruill, who I did 3 proms for his 3 daughters, and they're in college now. Mm-hmm. But year 1, we did the prom. Year 2, we did the second daughter's prom. And year 3, we did the third daughter's prom. And he goes, Larry, I'm broke now. I got to send these kids to college. I'm glad we're over that. But it was something each year that I was getting right, Kimberly, mm-hmm. to constantly have this business owner trust me with 3 daughters and a budget to do a prom. And so the first year I was like, wow, that was a nice paycheck. But the second year with the second daughter, I'm like, wow, we really impressed this guy. And by the time the third daughter came around, I knew I was just really doing the right thing business wise, mm-hmm. because this man could have called any other transportation event company, but he used me 3 years in a row. And that was very special for me and my business and my drivers during that time.
All right. Yeah. But like I said, when you walk the talk and you provide great service, this is what people are going to do. They're going to constantly come back. It's no different than like when we go to the grocery store every day, we go to the same store because we like either the customer service or the brand or the products that are available there. So you always bring it up a tick or two every time people see every event that I've been involved in or have attended. I see them constantly improving, and that is just because, like I say, you know what you're doing, which is very important. People always say, oh, I can do events. Well, there's a specialty that goes around with knowing how to put an event together. And I've even learned that just even with my recent book signing, is that how all the pieces come together and how you're connecting with individuals so that you can all work together to make sure that things are very successful. And having a great team and you being a part of my team has been amazing, because each time we're just constantly just moving forward. So I appreciate that. And I think that for those who are listening, if you are definitely looking for somebody to help you with your venues and you're looking for those services, this is the person that you need to be connected with, because the professionalism is just off the chain, and all the things that you provide, and even things that, like I said, that people aren't asking, you are always putting up that 100%, and that's important.
Well, Kimberly, I thank you so much for that. But I did want to come to the show and just say congratulations on a wonderful book signing last Saturday. I was so inspired by you and your story and your book. As you know, you have inspired me to write my book. And in business, we try to really learn from our mistakes and be better. And then when you learn a lot of great things, no need to hoard that information and share it out so young entrepreneurs coming behind us and even the millennials can learn. But I just wanted to tell you, it's very easy working with you. I tell my wife this all the time. Kimberly gets it. You're very good in following up. And I'm like, wow, this is great. And when you go to these really, really good Fortune 500, and this is for all the listening audience, when you go to these leadership conferences, Kimberly, they're talking exactly what you and I do. They follow up. They're professional. I mean, it's cool to do a small event, but somebody's watching. Mm-hmm. And when you go to these big conferences and you got the Dr. Willie Jollies there and these motivational speakers, these empowerment speakers, they're on time. They show up on time. They get started on time, their agenda. And you marvel all of that, Kimberly. And I can tell you, I've been around the world 3 times. You always hear me talk about it. I've only met about 2-3 people, and you're one of them that really, really talks the talk and walk the walk, as you say. And I mean, really, really paying attention. So I told myself I'm going to be on time today. I had a couple of password issues with Skype today because I was like, I want to do this interview on my phone and have a second weekend. But I made sure I prepared myself prior so I would not have any technical difficulties this week. But you and I are like that, Kimberly and I. It's a pleasure working with you. I have to do a shameless plug here. We are working towards your hotel right now for May 3rd so you can stay overnight. And we're already thinking about that as you live about an hour away. Now, this is my business pitch, because as a business planner needing a great person there to help with the crowd and you're driving an hour away, we're going to take care of those accommodations for you in advance. So you'll be getting your confirmation letter today of your stay on May 3rd. And we really appreciate all the value of your book and everything that you do in giving Larry White and VIPeVENTS Concierge a platform on your social media outlets and your iHeart radio show here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I always appreciate, the extras, even though I never expect them. I'm here. And I'm part of this because it means something to me. And I know that, yes, it absolutely helps me out. But it also, like you said, we vibe together in the right way. We think a lot alike. And so when, like my father always used to tell me, as we were coming up, 2 heads are always better than one, whether it's in business, whether it's in a relationship. If you see a person who's going in the same direction as you, that's the people you want to be connected with. So, I always appreciate the opportunity of having that connectability with you and you helping me on my platform and helping me to grow. And, I always want to be able to know that I can contribute back in the best way that I can with your business as well. But before we go any further, I want you to talk a little bit about some of the other things you got coming down the pike here between April and all throughout the rest of the year, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Kimberly, thank you so much. I'm just sitting back thinking, I got so much going on and I hope I don't give people too much. But then once you realize some events are for certain target audience and some are for other target audience. And at the end of the day, the networking events like the cocktails and conversations, those are like really like outreach programs. As we get to talk a little bit, hopefully, about your book publishing workshop, you need to have those little small, intimate happy hours, cocktails and conversations, because those are the people that are going to come out April 19th and further. So that's why I do those smaller events in between to gain momentum and gain clientele. But absolutely, April 19th, we will be at Microsoft in Tyson's Corner, second floor. Entrance is Panera Bread. I've been on the phone all morning with Microsoft as they've been changing a few things around on the logistics end. And that's our business corporate leadership workshop. We're going to be talking about business development. We're going to be talking about the effective ways. This is key because I have recently purchased the premium version of LinkedIn. You know, if you got just the cookie cutter, hey, sign up, it's a lot more bells and whistles to LinkedIn if you purchase the premium, and it will help you get more clients, more sponsors. So we're going to teach people the effective ways of using LinkedIn as a senior business leader, entrepreneur, and we're going to do that on April 19th. And we're also going to talk a little bit about branding, marketing, and advertising, my favorite topic, which I will cover. And that's going to be from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. At Microsoft's store in Tyson's Corner. Registration is still available at www.VIPeVentsConcierge.com/upcoming events. We have 20 slots available. You know, I'm going to start really marketing that event from a logistics standpoint, Kimberly, because to be at Microsoft 8:30 in the morning here in the DMV, you're going to have to get on the road at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Right.
And I just think so many people have minimal registrations right now, but I have a nice, it's growing, but folks from Virginia Beach are coming up, and I'm like, wow. So they're going to put themselves in a hotel that night and come out, but it's for business owners, business leaders. And then May 3rd, we have our Cocktails and Conversations with Concierge Part 4. So Baltimore, if you're listening, I know I've been in Washington, D.C., Prince George's County. I am coming back home to the Baltimore area May 3rd, and I'm already seeing the RSVPs coming up for that. We'll have some door prizes, Kimberly, some business spotlights, and May 3rd is going to be great. Now, I'm going to just take a pause because I am now seeing the vision between you and our Kimberly to do that workshop, as you will be a certified person to help publish books. So folks can look out for that class that we'll do later in the summer, early fall, where we'll do an intimate class showing folks how to publish their books. So I'm looking forward to working with you on that. But coming up April 19th, Microsoft Corporate Leadership Workshop, and also May 3rd, our Cocktails and Conversations with Concierge Part 4, which we will have a lot of margaritas out there that day because that is our pre-Cinco de Mayo celebration. And so just everybody come on out, and it'll be a wonderful time.
All right. That sounds good. Well, thank you for the invites and all the plug-ins there. I think everybody's listening is going to be really looking forward to that. And like I said, for those who've never participated in the Cocktails and Concierge, I mean, it is in conversations. It is an excellent opportunity to come out and meet, like I said, new business owners, people who are aspiring to be business owners, or either people who are already, you know, entrepreneurs, and, you know, getting those connections. So please come out and hang with us. I think that you will find it to be a great purpose and reasoning to be there. So I just want, before we close out, what I would like you to do is talk to the listeners and give them one piece of advice. If they decide they want to go into business, what advice would you give them?
Call me at 443-254-1098. Give me a call. I'll help you out. And I'm serious about that, because when you go down to Preston Street in Baltimore for the state of Maryland to file a LLC, LLP, S Corp, C Corp, there's different ways to do that will affect your taxes. So you got to be careful how you file as a business owner. A lot of people are going to Delaware and different other places that don't really have taxes that the state of Maryland has. So, but I would just tell people to really be careful because, you know, as I talk to you about LIP, leadership, integrity, and passion, you have to be passionate about what you want to do in business. Even if you're not getting paid, long as you're passionate, at some point you will turn the curve. So I just tell those business owners that are thinking about starting a business, wondering what they should do, whatever it is, be passionate about it, because as long as you're passionate about it, it'll keep you in the game. If you're not passionate about it, you really just have a hobby, not a business. And there's a really distinct difference just having fun, having a hobby. But when you have a business and you blood, sweat, and tears, every day I wake up, I thank God for VIP Events Concierge, all the clients. As we talk about it, I love all my clients. Even a couple over the past 6 years, I've only had two clients ask for a refund. And there was a dispute about that, but I refunded the money. But in 6 years to only have two refunds, that's amazing. And so that's because I'm passionate and I try to get it done right. So the key word is passion. And just one quick plug. Kimberly and I will be on Listen Vision Radio tomorrow with celebrity photographer Patricia McDougall. So we'll be there doing a little bit of marketing, branding, and talking about Kim's upcoming book signing March 31st, which I'll be there. Dr. Renee Sunday, shout out. So Kim, thank you for the opportunity. And I just leave all upcoming business owners, those that are in business, because at the 5-year mark, most people go out of business, liquidating their assets, exit strategy. So once you get to the 5-year mark, you're either gone or you're going to keep going. We're at the 6-year mark, and I will tell you my passion in my business has kept me going thus far. So I thank you, Kimberly, for this opportunity to speak to your listening audience here today.
Well, it is my pleasure. And again, thank you for coming on this evening and sharing your story and talking about your business, because I think that's very important that people, get there's somebody out there who can definitely connect with you and learn about, hey, this is the type of business I want to do, or these are some of the things that I know I need to move forward on. So again, like I said, thank you for coming on this evening and sharing your story. And for everyone else, enjoy the rest of your evening. But remember to check us out now. We are on iHeartRadio. But until next time, have a good evening.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.